Coach, obviously really frustrating tonight. Chris comes in the ball game late there and kind of gives you a little bit of juice, I guess. Kind of what's the thought process behind getting him in, and what were your impressions of him?
I think he did a really nice job when he came in and provided a spark, pushed the ball down the field. His stat line really, right, he got a couple drops in there. He's probably up there close to almost 100 yards passing. Obviously, he has some mobility too, so he's able to keep plays alive when the pocket starts to break down. So obviously, he's going to be able to learn a lot from this film. You know, when he got the ball out on time and took the free access throws, really good job. Obviously, he made a couple plays scrambling. I do think he can watch a couple of them clips, and you know, the more you can throw on time and deliver the ball, typically the better you're going to be over the long term. And so he did some good things with his legs. Got to encourage him not to run around too much back there, and then obviously sometimes you can get a intentional grounding penalty. But very pleased with just his competitiveness when he came in, and he obviously provided a little spark. You see the energy pick up, so it was a good job.
Steph.
You guys got off to a slow start there in the game. Obviously, you had the crowd energized, and it seemed like Kentucky was able to take the crowd out of it a bit. I guess just how frustrating is that, having a home night game and coming out, having a slow start?
Oh, I can't thank our fan base enough for the environments they've created every time here. Yeah, we had a great crowd tonight. Obviously, night game. You got the '98 West Division champs here to honor them. It's homecoming, so we had a tremendous atmosphere. It was a good football game. It's two teams who pride themselves on physical play, and they were competing. Obviously, you got to find a way to cap off red zone trips with touchdowns, and obviously we would like to keep their red zone trips to field goals. But yeah, I apologize. I'm disappointed the fans didn't have a better outcome to celebrate, but they did a tremendous job showing up and supporting players.
Justin.
Obviously, the offense had been struggling over the past 12, 13 quarters, so was there anything that was keeping you from making that move to Chris either last game or earlier tonight than we did?
Well, Chris obviously he's been available for in emergency purposes the entire time since Will's been out. He did have a little minor setback that, again, only made him available for emergency purposes. And then as he has progressed and been able to run the entire offense, now he got his opportunity tonight.
John.
Zach, another week of, a tough night for the offense. What do you kind of tell your guys kind of after a game like that to maybe kind of, get some momentum in this last 3-game stretch?
Well, I think they're all smart enough to understand that, hey, your starting quarterback, starting tailback is out, right? That usually makes it a little more difficult for points to come by. But we know that if you want to get to postseason play, right, you got to at least get to 6 victories. And those guys are all competitors. They know that, hey, come back out, go to work. That's the only way you're going to give yourself the best chance to progress and score more points.
You had that long 20-play, 12-minute drive, but you only end up getting 3 on it. When you only have to settle for a field goal there, does that kind of kill some of your momentum?
Well, again, and clock rules are playing into this a little bit this year more so. It's more like NFL football. Possessions are down, right? Plays are down, which increases the importance of every time you get into the red zone. If you're not creating explosive plays where you pop a 60-yard touchdown run and you throw a ball over their head for a long pass, then drives that get into the red zone where the field shrinks, right? It's of utmost importance that you finish that off with a touchdown instead of a field goal. I mean, we all know here that 7 points, well, you got to kick 3 field goals to outdo that. And so, with the way the clock rules are this year, possessions are down, plays are down. It magnifies the importance of red zone trips. Touchdown percentage in the red zone is critical.
Coach, in times of adversity, I know people look to the leader to kind of see how to behave and kind of act, but what do you do to kind of keep everybody holding the rope here and pulling in the same direction?
Go to work. Work harder. That's what you do in the sport, right? You put your, as I think Coach Sherrill told me, right? Nose down, he had a different term, but rear end up and keep on digging and grinding.
John?
Zach, we were talking about bowl eligibility a second ago. How confident are you that this team could end up becoming bowl eligible? How confident are you that in that happening?
I'm confident our guys are going to come and work, and we're playing talent enough to be in every game when we're in this game, right? And so, yeah.
Marcus?
Coach, after that long touchdown drive, and then you guys got the stop on defense, that pick six right after you guys got the ball back, kind of talk about how, or if that was very deflating for your team after that to get that stop on defense and then have that pick six right after that.
I mean, you know, in the short term, turnovers are always deflating, right? Obviously, you never want to turn the ball over. Again, I reference when you're in a game where possessions are at a premium, because you know there's not going to be as many of them, just the way the style of the game's going. Then to lose a possession, turning it over, already hurts you. And then obviously for that to end up in points, right, where the defense isn't even able to come out and try to stop a sudden change, at least hold them to a field goal, attempt. Yeah, that creates adversity. You can also respond by doing the same thing on defense. We got our hands on one. Jet played a route perfectly. You know, he wasn't quite able to hold on to it, but very similar situation. Read the route perfectly, a little bunch concept, jumped it, got his hands on it. That would have been great. Obviously, we could have even the non-offensive touchdown, defensive takeaway for a score, but.
Go to Steph and we'll close it out with Ben.
They mentioned on the broadcast that Will had told some of the folks in the broadcast booth that he was confident that he could get back to play at least in the Egg Bowl. How have you felt about the way he's progressed with his injury, and do you think he can come back even sooner than the Egg Bowl?
Yeah, I think Will's progressed really well, and obviously he's practicing with us, and so I obviously have no doubt his grit and determination to play in that particular game, but I know he wants to play before that too, and so unfortunately I'm not qualified to make that call. So when the doctors say he's available, he'll be available and he'll be up there.
Ben?
We saw quite a few penalties, especially from the offensive line, some personal foul, unnecessary roughness type infractions. Is there a whole lot that you guys can do as coaches to make sure that they can maintain their discipline during games, or is that more of a practice type of issue?
Well, I think we talk about it quite a bit, but you have to play this game with emotion, but you can never lose emotional control, right? Because at the end of the day, if you get penalties, whether it be the 15-yard variety that either sets you back or give their offense additional 15 yards, all you're really doing is hurting the team, right? So you have to play this game with tremendous emotion and passion, but you can never lose emotional control, right? I think both teams, it was a spirited game. Both teams were coming out, getting after each other, playing physical. I'm not going to criticize officiating because I believe that gets me fined. But I know we converted first down there by the goal line. We pushed in the pile. I guess it was ruled one of those pushes was a little too late, so then it became an unnecessary roughness. Now you're 15 yards back. Yeah, that hurts you, right? It's hard to score touchdowns when you get down to what will be first and goal at the 2 or 3, and now it's first and goal at the 18, right? So you can never lose emotional control. I know one time we punt, we get a good roll after it hits, so they have a really long field, but then there's a 15-yard penalty. You can never lose emotional control. I think both teams play with equal levels of emotion. You got called away good.
All right, thanks.
Yeah,
Pleasure
thank
being
you.
here.